Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody? What's going on, Chip? I'll tell you what's going on. An XRP evolution, revolution. I don't know, from fanboy speculation to the builders who are shaping the future of blockchain. We're going to get into that and a lot more. There's a new bill that's our older new bill that's been presented in front of Congress, getting a little bit of activity, a little bit of traction. Let's dig into that and some other things. Ready to kick this thing off?
I'm almost ready. Let's
Okay,
go.
let's wait.
1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go. No, that's the wrong one.
Nope,
Hang on a second. That's not. Did it go?
that's
No,
the
it didn't
fake.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome everybody to On the Chain.
Welcome
Here
to
we are,
On
Jeff. Here we are,
Chain.
another Saturday. Jeff and I got together yesterday. We actually had lunch. We
We
had
did.
lunch. Jeff took me to this amazing Italian restaurant. It was great. You know, it's authentic when they don't speak very much English and it's only Italiano. You know, it's like
Only Italiano.
I got there before Jeff, and I'm like, he goes, what you want? And I said, I'm here to meet a friend. What the friend? What the friend? Jeff. Who's this? Who's a Jeff? I don't know a Jeff. Like he was so confused.
Yeah.
Then Jeff gets in, he goes, oh, hello. He's like, oh, okay. So it was funny, man. It was really.
Give me a hug as we come in. He's like, yeah.
He gives you a hug. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, this. I go, this Jeff right here. So
Yeah.
yeah, we actually got the same thing, which was delicious, man.
Oh my God. How great was that grouper?
God, it was groupers. We had some grouper with some lemon sauce with some pasta.
Oh,
It was good
man.
stuff. It was very, very good. I loved it, enjoyed it, and
Oh yeah. Fresh bread,
the
freshly
bread
made
was great.
pasta. How great was that? Pasta made.
Yeah,
This place is a factory. So it's in a warehouse district. And you go in. And it's funny.
I felt like I walked into someone's kitchen. I'm like, am I supposed to be here right now? Like, I was like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a very, very cool, authentic. Like, doesn't seem like something we'd see in Florida. You know what I mean?
No,
It's like
exactly.
something, yeah, like something you might find in Europe or something. It was very, very cool.
When you're in the know.
When you're in the know. So everybody, what's going on? Where are you coming in from? What's happening? What is going
What
on?
is going on out there?
There you go.
That's
There
what I
we
want to
go.
know.
Let me
Where's
go.
everybody tuning in from?
Check out Sergio.
Where's everybody in
Sergio, we haven't
YouTube?
seen you in forever, man.
What's going
I
on?
don't know where you've been. Where have you been,
Exactly.
man?
What kind of songs you've been writing?
Yeah, you
I want to know.
singing anything?
Recording.
Recording any new
Still
videos?
recording.
Come on, man.
Yeah, recording some music.
Hmm. There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I mean, there's so much activity going on X over there. So
Crazy.
much, right? There's so much
Crazy
stuff
stuff.
to talk about, and it's a little
Man,
bit
look at that.
it's interesting.
Newcastle, Australia. Look at that beautiful, badass Yeti. Look at that. Nice.
Yeah, we got to. I saw that one
Oh,
question
yeah.
there.
So yeah, so it's interesting. You know, we got a lot of stuff to cover here. I was perusing the landmine of X,
Mm.
and and a comment came up. Or there was a comment. It was actually posted to Chip, but it wasn't really addressed to you. It just said, "Hey Chip."
I saw that come in too, and it was weird. It's like I saw it actually pop on my screen for a second, and then I lost it. So I'm glad you found
Yeah,
it because
yeah. So so I'll pull it up here. I don't know if you had it up, but I'll pull
yeah,
it up.
pull it
Make it
up, pull it up if
easy.
you can. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Let me make
There
it
it is.
easy here.
It's 10:20 p.m. in Brisbane, which
10:20.
we are fully aware of.
We
We're
we
fully
are
aware that it's
very
10:20.
much aware of that. So this came from this odd fisher, and he said, "Hey Chip, wondering if you could get this circulating to find a possible answer. I sent XRP to an exchange. It had the correct address, destination tag. The XRPL pointed to a successful transaction, but the exchange account didn't receive it. That was step one. I sent a ticket. They said they were looking into it. Meanwhile, a couple of hours later, sounds like a Bitcoin transaction.
Does sound like
Wasn't.
that, yeah.
Meanwhile, 48 hours later, I sent a smaller test transaction, and then the original one, same account, um, done this before on the Flare network, but the original one ended up going through. It's almost like it was stuck, somehow stuck in limbo. until I sent the next to unclog the first. Has anyone ever experienced this before? What might cause it to act that way? Thank you for your help in advance.
Well, it's a good question, but the issue is we don't. There's too many things we don't know about. A, what was the exchange, right? Because remember that an exchange is posting. It could be sent, right? But just because it was sent there doesn't mean it wasn't. It didn't hit the wallet. Didn't hit your wallet with the right destination tag. It's not displaying. But it also depends on how the exchange. A couple things. It could have been. They could have taken it out of production prod mode, right? They could have taken it. They could have been doing some work on it at the time you sent it. So this is why you weren't seeing the transactions, and it depends when they're going to display it, right? Are they doing? Is it a constant where they're continuously getting the transaction information, displaying it? So yeah, because you went and checked the transaction, it was successful, it hit the wallet. However, it sounds to me like it's more on the exchange side of things, and it could have just been happenstance when you sent the one, then it showed, but that could have triggered something as well. But it depends. You send another small transaction, you start seeing it show up. It really has to do with the way the exchange is processing the data. So I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. Because if you already verified that the transaction was successful, then it has to do more with the exchange how they were showing it to you. So, but it is something interesting. I haven't really seen this before, and haven't really heard anybody talk about it. So, if you want to actually tell us who the exchange was, that would be good too, and we'll comment on that X post, Jeff. You might want to just we'll throw a comment up on it, but I couldn't find it. I saw it pop up for a second. I said, "Hey, Chip," I started reading it, and then boom, it disappeared from my screen. I'm like, and you're right.
Wasn't really addressed at
I wasn't
Chip, which is
tagged, right? I wasn't
it said,
tagged
"Hey,
on it,
Chip."
but I did see it for like a split second. But and I know I'm
Yeah.
fishing because obviously he's a good dude. He comments a lot of stuff. We kind of go back and forth, like each other's stuff. Kind of lockstep there. Hans Loaded is here today. Welcome. It's good to see Hans in the house as well. Mike is in here. Mike Marath is in the house. You're late, but we'll give you a pass. But the good news is, Mike, we were late too. So we've only been broadcasting for 7 minutes here. So we had some issues as well. We got Titusville in Florida's in the house. We got Vero Beach in the house. Got Newcastle over in Australia. Look at that. Amazing. Badass
Yeah.
Yeti avatar. Gonna love that.
And then, according to Sir John, said no one in the US really cares too much about the Eurovision.
We do.
But there is a something trending. But it's interesting. I've been watching the odds and the bets
Yeah, we have
going
actually
on.
been following it. I actually, believe it or not, we do Jeff and I were talking about that this morning, Sir John.
So the sport books put the top 3 right now for victory in the Eurovision without even thinking about songs, apparently. Got Croatia and Israel vying for number 1 spot, followed by Switzerland coming up as a close third. That's it. Those are the top 3 right now. It's going to be between Croatia and Israel winning the Eurovision.
There you go. Yeah, and
That's it. That's
this
what
is
we
the
get.
thing is like so gotta like listen in. It'll be interesting to see because generally the last couple of winners, there's been some interesting choices. Let's put it that way, right? Last couple of
Mhm.
Eurovision. From past years. So it'll be interesting to see how
Yeah,
that sort of shakes out. So there you go. It's good to see
there you go.
Croatia vying for the top spot there. He says, "I guess nobody cares." Don't make assumptions, Sir
Mm,
John. We know a lot more stuff that's going on, right?
Nobody cares.
Now, if you ask me about Croatian politics, I would default to you because you are the master on that, right? I'm not as versed,
Mhm.
although I do know. Is it one of your MPs? One of your one or two of your guys shows up often on the world stage, and we do hear some really good commentary on that, which is great. San Antonio's in the house too. Look at Dawn. Dawn has her very awesome special um, avatar out there, which is really amazing and phenomenal. And just give us the thumbs up when you're ready to go live. We have bring in a special guest.
We have a special guest
Give
coming
us
on
a
with us.
thumbs up when you're ready to go live.
Yep.
Are you ready to go
You're
live?
ready.
Okay,
We're
ready to
ready.
go live. All right, yeah, there you go. We do have the thumbs up. By the way, just I'm putting this up there. I'm not saying anything. Just saying.
Oh, that's what's new. There's a new green room on StreamYard to
Yeah.
where
What do
we
we?
could join the green room and talk to people in the green room.
Oh, is that what it
But
is? So how does that work
we
exactly?
don't
How
I
do you?
didn't activate that feature yet.
Way to go, Jeff.
Yep.
It's about talking about features we don't have. Hey, this amazing feature that allows you to do this. Well, let's try
It
it.
is an
We don't
awesome
have
feature.
we don't
We
have
don't
we
have it.
don't have it
We don't have
activated
it.
anymore. Sorry. We don't. It's one of those things we don't have going on yet, right? It's just not one of those things that we're talking about. Look at BZ checking in. You didn't even check in with the obligatory comment either. This is very awkward. Puerto Rico saying good morning. What's up, Joe? Good to see you.
Now we're gonna bring in let's bring in Australia live.
Oh,
from
there. Hang on. Wait.
Australia.
I lied. He did give the obligatory supportive comment. Just wouldn't be the show without it, right? So I must have missed that. BC's like, I did. I'm like, okay, fine. Chill, relax. I see it. It's all good.
Here we
There
go.
we go. All right.
Ready?
So you want to do an introduction here, Jeff?
Yep. Hang on a second. Let's do a quick intro.
Do the intro.
There we go.
Where's the majestic horns in the background?
Oh,
We don't have any majestic.
Do we have any majestic horns?
I don't. We don't have any.
Let me see. There we
We
go.
don't have any majestic horns.
No,
At least that's majestic, but
that's how about this one?
there we go. Give a thumbs up if you're ready to go.
We got two guests.
Got two guests.
Two guests joining us.
Two.
You guys will recognize them. You guys will know them. We got one thumb.
I believe they're both from Brisbane, so they're. I think they're not in Brisbane, but I believe is that right, guys? Thumbs up, both from Brisbane. Yeah, both from Brisbane. All right. There you go.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah, I'm
bring
ready.
them in. They're both ready. Let's bring them in with some guitar music. How about that? Here we go.
Ready? Go ahead. There you go.
Bring them in. One,
bring them in. Ready?
two. We got them both in. You guys are here, and there they are. Look at that. Matt and Ali G coming in from Australia. Great to see you guys. So happy to have you here. It's going to be great.
It's good to have you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Late night.
Thank you for joining. Of course, two of the instrumental people of a big team that put together the Wave of Innovation Gold Coast, which we were, privileged to participate in, and also have we did some panel stuff, Jeff and I. It was really a phenomenal conference. That was, Ali, tell a little bit about the conference. What was the theme of the conference, and maybe just like a general overview so people know for 2025.
Sorry, I'm actually not hearing you really well.
You're not hearing me really well.
No, I've got my. Sorry, you can hear me really well.
We can hear you really well.
Just turn
up your volume.
I have. Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
And turn your phone like that so that we can see you.
She's got soccer mom.
Just soccer mom on there. Oh, there you.
There you are. Now we can see you. There we go. They even improved the voice.
Soccer mom. Matt knows all about my.
Now you can hear us.
I pet peeve about that. That's.
Just so you're very quiet, but anyway, I'm just gonna have to listen really
carefully.
You don't
hear me. You don't hear it.
Can you hear all of us, or just Chip? You
just a little bit.
Let me ask you guys. Everybody, you guys hear me okay? Because I know I have an onboard mic. And Jeff, how do I?
Oh, you know what? Let me adjust Chip's mic. I can adjust your mic setting a little bit.
Bring it up a little bit so we can hear it. And I'm asking.
Pump up the volume. Say something.
Jeff's just fell in the well with the green screen with his voice ripped from the party yesterday. How's that any better?
Yeah,
you guys hear me any better? Okay, so it's hard for me to know.
Let's see if I can adjust. Let's see.
Malaroche
I don't need to adjust
house. He's in the house.
Hey, Hans, how are you, buddy? Woohoo!
Adjust Matt.
I made it live. Awesome. Right?
Live, baby. Live, baby. Live.
I feel like I should be typing something in response, but anyway, I don't have to. I can actually just talk. Perfect.
That's it.
Anytime you want, man. Go in live, morning ever.
Loud and clear.
Look at Scotty's in here too. Beautiful. All right.
Yeah. So, to Chip's point there. So we had an amazing event. This is the first time we've had you guys on here since the Wave of Innovation Australia 2024, which was an amazing event. From that you guys are getting lots and lots of positive feedback all over X, and a 2025 event that's being planned out. How exciting is
we are. Yeah, we got amazing reviews. Everyone was really super impressed with the caliber of conference that we brought. A lot of work went, involved with the amazing team that we had together, and you guys as MC and, Eddie and Bill and Matt and Mick, and, Mick was behind the scenes. He deserves so much credit because, being the our IT, you don't kind of see the work that he puts into it, but he put copious amounts of work into it, and Sadaf, we brought Caroline now into the team, but she also contributed into that. So a lot of work went into it, and it really paid off because, you know, it was a delivery that, you know, I think it even sort of blew our own minds. So yeah, we got really good reviews. It really hit home with a lot of people, and again, it's always about meeting people and being able to talk to them face to face. But, you know, I'm the meetup queen. So I just love meeting people, and it's, you know, what I've always been about. And yeah, that conference didn't, you know, disappoint us in the slightest. We met the most amazing people. So it was the second time that I get to meet you, Chip, but the first time I got to meet you, Jeff. So that was like an extra treat, because we didn't get to meet you in New York.
Because unfortunately it was his birthday, and he was,
Yes,
he was being very family fluent. So
he was having his own proper party.
But also we got to meet this guy right here, which was a big highlight as well. Scotty from Mometa, which, you know, who did an awful lot of work as well, especially coordinating with Traverse and you know, with Aaron and team. And it was really a phenomenal conference. I almost wish that it could be made available, you know, for like a rewatch type of thing. So that, because there was a lot of people came to us late and said, you know, gosh, we kind of for some reason didn't hear about this. Like, we would have wanted to watch it. We would have participated. Like a lot of people after the fact. So I'm wondering if that could be something where we can make it available to like the general populace. Like, is that something that's in the cards? Like, we could do that?
Yes.
Okay. Because then what we can do is, because it was so action packed. There was so much going on with it. It was really mind blowing. I remember the first moment that Jeff and I, you know, we walked in, we were up super early that morning, you know, coordinating with Ali, you know, talking about like how we were going to kick it off. And I remember walking in to see the stage, and I was like, my eyes lit up.
Lord.
It was, I mean, Jeff and I go to a lot of conferences, and it was just such first class. The entire room, the way it was done, the backdrop, the video, the flowers, like it was just such a, there was not a detail that was just left. It was just perfect.
RACV,
I mean,
RACV does a good job. Sorry, Al. RACV really, and a shout out to them as well as I don't know if you said Daz as well, Ali.
Daz,
yes, sorry, Daz. He's our graphic designer. Daz, thank you, Matt. Sorry, Daz.
That's great. He works so hard. But RACV did an amazing conference setup, and you know, it was probably to a scale that we were happy with, but 2025 is going to be bigger and better, and they have some incredible tech that we might be able to show in the future of what might be available, but we'll leave that one just for a little bit of a secret, but it's possibly.
And you're right, Chip. We meet every Wednesday night for our company meeting, and our conversations are always about, you know, even the littlest things, the attention to detail, and, you know, and mentioning Daz, you know, he is just so, you know, on point with, you know, the branding and everything that he did. And that, you know, that's another thing that, you know, that really shone through is all these conversations that we had multiple times, and it was just really deciding, you know, that those little detail things that just made all the difference. And we're glad that really shone through, because, you know, we were so you know, on point with everything that we decided to do. It just it all came together beautifully.
And the food,
beautiful way, right?
The food. Matt,
the food
that's
was
him.
top shelf. Matt did such a great job picking out the food.
Yeah, we
know
outstanding.
Matt's our foodie, so that was definitely his job.
I mean, I worked there for. I mean, I've just recently left and taken up a new position, but you know, working there for 18 months, you go into the staff bistro room and they have all the leftovers from all the stuff that they've done with conferences and stuff. So I'd sampled. I mean, you can just tell by my build. I've sampled most of the food, and
nice.
I knew it was going to be pretty good. Yeah, I knew it was going to be good. So they didn't disappoint.
So Dawn was saying that she used to work at Vision Pursuit. They put on the Anthony Robbins events there. There's so much work that goes into these events. Congratulations. I wish I could have attended. Well, that's good, Dawn, because you can next year. And so there's
Hey,
an
Dawn.
early registration.
Love that avatar, Dawn. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
little
look,
cat. Look
it really
at that.
does
How beautiful
pay.
that is.
It really does pay to register for next year because, one, you're going to get, that early access to the tickets, and two, you're going to get the discount. You'll be guaranteed that early bird discount. So, jump on the website and register, you're interested. We won't bombard you with anything through the year. There may be an email just updating you on where we're at with things. But, as soon as, we're ready to go with the tickets, you'll be first in to secure those tickets. So next year, I can guarantee you it's going to be bigger and 3 times better.
Which is going to be honestly, that's going to be tough to do, but I know that it's very possible. The other thing that was very different about this conference that happens, like most conferences are for profit, right? You put these on, like Jeff and I were talking a little bit this morning. Just when I say talking, we're talking with text, but there's that. What is it called? What's the big conference you sent me, Jeff? What's that one?
The what was it called? Is that
I'm looking through here.
CoinDesk? The CoinDesk.
The CoinDesk one. I forget what
Consensus. No.
Consensus is it called? I
Is
forget
it?
what the name of they
What is
call
it
that,
called?
but it's the CoinDesk conference. Yeah, it's Consensus. Yeah, so Consensus has
yeah.
15,000 attendees, but this is probably how this company stays afloat by doing this conference. What was different about the Wave of Innovation, where it was all volunteer based. It was what we call here in the States a nonprofit or non-for-profit. So the whole idea was nobody makes any money. There's no money, and the reason behind that was to make the tickets affordable, and so
That's
that
right.
people could come in. And that right there was a game changer. And if you compare it to what, and Jeff and I go to a lot of conferences, we're both in sales, so we see a lot of different flavors and styles and different, whatever the theme behind the conference is, and that's generally the way it goes. And so sometimes the food is just like, we put food out, it's like crappy garbage stuff, where everything was everything was elevated on a different level in this conference. And Jeff and I know, because we go to a lot of them. I'm going to some this year as well coming up, and
some provide no food.
Right. Well, there's no food. They have coffee. The coffee runs out. There's and then some of them, like, you're paying anywhere from $1,800 to $2,600 for these conferences. The hotel room you're paying $450 to $500, right? So this whole you go to Jeff and I go to these over $5,000, right? Just for they're usually 3 days, right? 2.5, 3 days, or sometimes there are some 5-day ones. But I'm like, this is what was very different about this, because having the knowledge base there and having all the the organizers, and the team is actually, for this size event, was pretty small. How many people are on the team totally?
Everyone pulled their weight and went above and beyond. So we're immensely proud of the team. So
let me play this little promo. Can I play the promo right here? Go ahead, Al. You were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to say too, we had volunteers that came and helped us on the day too. And, massive shout out to every single one of our volunteers that also donated their time and supported us through the conference as well. So, yeah.
Toby.
I got a little bit emotional there at the end. So the tears, the waterworks happened. But yeah, my son, Toby, I'm very, very proud of him.
It was great to meet
just
Toby.
A little.
What a great young man. What a great young man.
And also too,
really.
Chip, awesome. A little bit more onto what you were saying about the conferences too is, ours was complete package. We were looking after you. All we needed you to do was just show up. We looked after your accommodation and your food, your nightly events and everything. So you didn't have to do a single thing. All we needed you to do was just rock up, and that was all inclusive in your ticket price.
Rock up. I like that. There you go. Just had to rock up, Jeff. That was it.
Just
show up.
Yeah.
Show up.
Just
rock up.
We would say show up. Rock up. That's the best part too, is like learning all the the Aussie lingo, right? The lingo and slang is fantastic. That's one of the things. But I'm going to play this little promo. You guys put this out a few days ago. And again, this is a very sort of a focused one, because you'll see John Deaton throughout this one. You'll see me. You won't even see Jeff in here. Jeff was on the previous one. That's all right. It's just a very slim sort of a piece. Don't think this is it.
Very
This is like this part. The conference was this, and you're going to see this sliver right here.
Just a little bit.
Oh, it was XRPL related. That was XRPL.
Yeah, it was XRPL developer related.
Yeah, it was all that. So everything tied
All
into
about
the
the builders.
XRPL. Yeah, builders and stuff going on. Like even like when you talk about Futureverse and having, you know, Root and how that's used as a gas token and some of the bridging that's going on. And then Shen, who is his project Zerpmon, which he's doing some bridging too. So there's a lot of really amazing stuff was going on there. It was great for you know, Jeff and I to meet and talk with everybody too, and you know, spend some quality time with John Deaton. And of course Jeff and I would talk a little politics. That's so rare of us, so we rarely talk about that.
Never,
almost never, Jeff.
That doesn't
never happens, right?
Senator there was we had to talk some politics. That was awesome.
We did sneak a little bit of politics in.
It happens once in a while, right? So I'll play this promo, then let's come back. Here we go.
Welcome everybody to the Wave of Innovation inaugural event 2024 XRP Gold Coast.
It's so exciting to be around this crowd of people who are passionate about building and working on the XRP ledger. So we're going to be talking about, you know, the cycles of Bitcoin, the cycles of the altcoin market, and the ever-changing altcoin market that we witnessed between 2017 to 2021 to now 2024, and those things that have impacted network value growth.
My favorite part of the XRP conference is the unity of people, sharing ideas, learning new things, listening to people's stories from how they got into crypto to where they are today.
Thank you all for coming. As I said, it's only the beginning. XRP Gold Coast 2024!
There you have it.
Outstanding.
There you have it, guys. And that, again, that was just a little bit of a sliver, but you can just see the excitement. You saw the look, right? This looked like a conference that was, you know, I mean, could have been put on anywhere in the world, but it happened to be put on at the Gold Coast by some very passionate, you know, people that have been surrounded by the XRPL and had this dream of like, hey, we're gonna put this conference on. So it was a lofty goal, and I had to say, it's one of the rare times that you overachieve. So well done to you, both of you, and the entire team. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, damn overachievers. So now you set the bar pretty high. That's the thing. It's, you know, now you're gonna try to raise that bucket a little bit.
WI 2025 part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah, we got Fabio running our ship, and so nothing gets missed. He just keeps us all in line and makes sure that we're, you know, all doing our job and pulling our weight. So yeah, look, we have already hit the ground running for 2025 already, spending many hours already just this early in the year. So we've got big plans for 2025. So watch this space.
Nice.
And you come in all the time again, Mark. So you coming in late again. You got a nice $12 fresh fade though. That's good. Well, I'll have to see that.
Yeah.
$12. $12.
Fresh.
And
fresh
around here,
fade.
you get a haircut's like
awesome.
$20, $25. The barbershop.
There you go.
Not that I go. But.
No, we don't go, Jeff. That's one part of inflation that doesn't affect us.
Yes, I saw my mom. I was talking to my mom yesterday. I walk in. The first thing she says, she's like, "When are you going to get a haircut?" I'm like, "I'm an adult now. I think I can choose those days when I want to." She's like, "You really need to get in." She has like at her phone convenient as her screensaver. Like, well, this is how I like. Blah, blah. I know. I was like, well, that's great. Fantastic. And then, you know, we watched Evolution.
I saw Chip. So when are you going to cut that hair?
You watch the best comment Jeff had, like one of the funniest things Jeff said that didn't have, like at the conference. I made a comment about something. He goes, he says, well, that means a lot coming from a guy who's got a man bun. So I was like, and I was like, oh, touche, Jeff. That was like funny. I was like, he goes, from a guy. I was like, yeah, okay, boom, deserved. What are you gonna do?
Well, how long have you been growing it for now? How long have you been growing it for? Because like when I saw you first at XRP Minute, you had like the full max headroom sort of haircut thing. And
yeah, well, I was showing Jeff. I said I shot him like a couple of videos. I'm like, look at the evolution. You have the same. You look exactly the same. My hair is like crazy. It's long. It's on the sides. It's like standing straight up. It's basically shaved. Had it all, man.
I think the turning point for you was where you got the dress code wrong on the Ripple ship. I think that's when you kind of went the longer hair growth. That was a very turning point in your life.
Wait, what was this turning point?
When you got the what you had to wear stuff
You
on the
wore a
ripple
sport
boat.
coat.
When was that? What was the ripple boat? You went there and full. Everyone's like relaxed, and you went there and totally the wrong gear.
So that was the Palm Beach Ripple. What do they call it? The Ripple. They call it the Ripple House, and it was on the yacht. So like me knowing Palm Beach, yeah. So that's the weird thing. It's like everything Palm Beach is always like uppity. So you have to wear like a blazer, and you have to. So I show up on this yacht. It's 1,000 degrees, right? And it's like typical 95 degrees with 96% humidity. And I've got a jacket on, but I don't want to take it off because then I'm going to leave it. And I parked too far away to go walk it back. So here I am sweating on this damn yacht. When I was talking to you, and I met Brad Garling's house, and we chatted it was great because it was really early. I got there right around when it started. And then I said, I'm going to go up and talk to him because if I don't see him, this is never going to happen. I never saw him after that. I never ran into him again. Like 3 hours, 4 hours later, I don't know if he stayed there. I don't know where he was, but then a massive crowd. It turned into like this giant rave where people are like, that was the it was like big huge lights.
He disappeared after you asked him to come on the show.
Well, that was true.
You got to come on the show, and he was like,
I did see he just went on. Brad did go on a podcast. The guy had 400 subscribers on YouTube, and then after Brad aired, he had 10,000 views, and he had and he does a good setup, and it was a solid interview. I'm nothing against the guy, but I was like, we can't get anybody from Ripple on. We're like rejected all the time. We're rejected from the grant program. We're just two rejects, Jeff. Let's face it. We're just two
Ripple rejects.
We're two flunky Ripple rejects. So don't show up and give the wrong impression on a yacht. That's the moral of the story here, right?
Hey, talking about that, there's some interesting commentary from
this is the one I was talking. This is the one I was talking about. It's a nice 3-camera setup. This is the guy that had 400 subscribers on YouTube.
It's very solid, super pro, good question. But check
It
this
was
is
it was the desk.
The desk.
The desk got around.
Have to reshare it because there's no audio. It's like a 14-second or 40-second clip.
I think I have it here too, Jeff. Let me see.
It's in the file, boys. It's in the file. There we go.
There we go.
I mean, like people forget before the SEC got involved and said that ETH is not a security, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset.
Wow, that wasn't
that long ago.
That wasn't long ago. What, 3-4 years?
It was 2018 when Hinman gave his speech. So 6 years, a little less than 6 years ago. Yeah, five years and change. And look, when a government actor gets involved, markets change, and maybe that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you still have that government actor involved. Unfortunately, you still see, and I believe what I read usually, look, it appears the SEC is trying to mount a case against ETH. I mean, like people forget before the SEC got involved and said that ETH is not a security, XRP was the second most valuable digital asset.
Wow.
You gotta stop it there, Jeff.
Wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't long ago. What, 3-4 years?
Yeah, we're
I remember that.
Yeah, so
I remember the community used to go ballistic over, if we were going to take out second position, and there used to be that close calls of it changing.
But I'll go out on a little bit of a limb here, and maybe a little controversial. Are we allowed to do that on this channel?
This is what this channel is built on, man.
I know. That's why I love it.
That's a yes. Matt, that's a yes.
When that $3.84 was calculated, all right, I believe that it was only done on the circulating supply and not the total supply like everything else was. So if you did the total supply of XRP, it was actually greater than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it actually was number one.
Right. Because it was based on the circulating supply.
For a brief time, yes.
Yeah, for a very brief time. Yeah, that's a good point.
I hang my hat on that every now and then.
Yeah, the lemon tree's gone today.
Oh, I had a
and listen, I was saying, like, I wonder if anybody's going to notice. Yeah.
Someone noticed.
It needed some work, guys. This is what Jeff and I said. So next year, if we don't have a lemon tree, it's going to be weird if there's not a lemon tree on stage.
Oh yeah, we're going to bring the lemon tree.
We were told that there'd be lemon trees.
I think Caroline got that memo that there's got to be a lemon tree.
Discussions have been in place. Thank you.
I have
lemon tree.
a little
Yeah.
snippet. There has been a discussion about lemon trees.
And the funny part about it is like can you imagine that?
Yeah,
The
I
funny
think
part about it is like
maybe-
people come on the show and they're like, I don't get it. You guys have lemon trees. I'm like, yeah, don't try to figure it out right now. It's like it's a lot of stuff. There's like a lot of stuff.
I think we need to go even more than just physical lemon trees. I think we need to take it to the next level. Maybe
We can
like virtual.
we can toss lemon trees, you know.
We do
Toss lemons. What do you get?
lemon juice.
We got those
We could do,
squishy lemon.
Make lemonade.
Foam. Those foam balls in shapes of lemons. That's what
Maybe we should sort of
throw
have
them
some
into the audience.
a little bit of tequila to go with them as well.
That's not a bad thing
tequila
either.
shots with lemon.
Line them up.
So I wanted to
welcome to 2025. Here's your tequila.
There you go.
Part of your check-in package.
I have a nickname for tequila.
Life gives you lemon, sell them for XRP. There you go.
I know.
So tell us what was your highlight coming to the XRP Gold Coast?
Meeting you guys.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Thanks, Jeff. I'll send you that check.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was seeing. I think. Well, I mean, there's no highlight. There were like I can just name off a bunch of things that. First of all, the fact that Jeff and I like got on a plane and flew 6 hours to LA, waited 9 hours in LA, flew 15 hours to Sydney, and then an hour and a half to. I was like, that was number one. Okay, then getting there, I think the biggest thing for us was like, you know, seeing Scotty, Mo Meta, like, you know, we had so many conversations and stuff, and people that I'd talked to over the years. There were some people some Aussies that, like Barry, who I've known for 7 years, and actually to go out and have a burger with him, like the last night we were there, and just like,
very cool too.
you know, obviously seeing you guys again, he felt like old friends because we hung out at the proper party that Ripple put on. But I think it was meeting the team, you know, Fabio.
I think we
talking with Fabio and Daz and what's that?
We flew 30 hours for that too, didn't we? Yeah, I think we did.
Oh yeah, you would have had that.
But you guys went to the proper party. It was just wasn't as cool of a thing. It was all right. It was okay. Yeah. But the big thing there, was just meeting people. The party was just weird, you know.
Yeah, it was just a party, like one party. We had the whole weekend together.
I reckon before and after was good. The tapas with Lost Art. That tapas party was so good. Ivan's just an absolute legend. What a legend!
Such a great community member. He's amazing.
He's got some great development stuff going on at the moment. So people should just check out Lost Art and everything that he's doing. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you lost his coin out.
Shh. I'm really, really shirty about that. Not sure. It was my own fault though. He gave me this beautiful gift of a silver coin, and I didn't put it into my bag. I sat it next to my bag, and I left without it. But someone picked it up, so that was a bit disappointing. But it was my own silly fault. So, but I'm devastated, absolutely devastated. But I hope that all I can say is whoever ended up with it, I hope that it brings them joy and happiness. That's
somebody who's kind. You know what I'm going to say? You took it, give it back to its rightful owner, or I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I think
we'll find you. Somebody saw you take it.
Hopefully, the person that ended up with it needed it more than I did. So
that's right.
That's all right. I might be able to organise you another one now. If one comes across the desk.
Yeah, but it won't be that one.
Yeah, I know. It won't be Ivan's one.
It'll never be that one.
Oh yeah.
I think, I suppose with a conference ahead of me, my mind was just not sort of with it at the time. I had a lot of things, and also, is everyone okay? Is everyone having fun? Have we done this? Is that, so but anyway, it was my own silly fault. I should have put it straight into my bag. So, but thanks for reminding me that Matt.
thing you were dealing with, which is.
You want me to
a real
remind you of
struggle.
something else?
I was just getting over the trauma of not,
of New York.
yeah, coming home.
Sorry.
Well, I was just saying, you know, that was the thing is like the jet lag is real.
You want to go there?
Jet lag is a real thing.
Jet lag is a real struggle, man. That you had that
The
going.
struggle
on too,
wasn't
right?
when we got there. The struggle was coming back.
Oh my God, that crushed me. It was like somebody.
Get in there.
Leaving us.
It was
That would have been a
brutal.
major struggle.
It was brutal. Well, that too. But I was gonna say, but going back to like what takeaways, like the entire team, I was impressed with the entire, you know, WIOI. It had so many conversations with, you know, Fabio, so to meet him and you know, the whole team, Mick. I mean, everybody on that team, meeting Bill Morgan, you know, because I mean, we talk a lot on X together, and so meeting him and just there were so many highlights, and also the Ripple. I was really impressed with the caliber of representatives from Ripple. They were top notch, and you know, all three of them, they were very participatory in the conference, and they wanted to be a part of it. They did not.
Right.
They did not come on and go like, "Hey, we're doing." No, they hung out with everybody. They were at the parties. They were, "Hey, let's have a beer together." Like they
right.
It was so spectacular to see that they were just real, and they were fun. They were, you know, it was great to hear what they're working on, you know, over in that sector of the world, because they're not here on the US side. They're over, you know, in Australia and also APAC region. So it's like, you know, I thought it was phenomenal. I was really impressed with how they showed up. Everybody that came from the Ripple team. That was a really, there was just so many surprises, right? I mean, there were so many Bearable Bulls, you know, he came out there and it was so impactful that you could hear a pin drop on carpet. That's how crazy impactful it was, and it just got people, you know, it got you right here, and you really realize what an amazing human being this guy is. And when you see and have the chance to, you know, one-on-one with him and have chats with him, and you know, for us, we were kind of fanboying too, right? We're, you know, there's, you know, I still blockchain backer, still an amazing dude. Like, I mean, just to get in his presence and go out and have a, you know,
just hang out. And we sat there and had beers with him. We're the Irish pub.
The pub was great.
Hanging out with John Deaton.
Well, he wasn't. We were, but you know, so. But
it was great.
John,
Matt took time, brought us up into the mountains. You know, got to find a cool Irish pub up in the mountains.
We're like in the middle of nowhere. Like
we heard about that.
Of Angels. And I see you saw.
So much. We went back twice.
Yeah, we went back twice.
Oh, once you find it, you gotta go back.
Because once wasn't enough, right?
I have to agree, Chip. Getting back to Ripple, they were really down to earth, and you know, didn't put themselves above us. They you know, were at everyone's level, and it was really so like just lovely to see. And when we approached Ripple and we were in talks with them, we didn't really we didn't ask for anyone in particular. We just said, you know, bring us some keynotes, and you know, we left it open as to who they were going to you know, bring over for us. And when I heard it was the Aussie guys, I was thrilled to bits. Like, I really was, because I thought, you know, we are having this conference in Australia, so to have the Australian Ripple guys, that was a bonus for me in my eyes. And yeah, they totally brought their game, and it was great. And you know, the fact that they were so down to earth, and you know, the whole team, even Cheryl and Zaz, that you know, they manned the exhibit. Well, they all were in the exhibitors, but the you know, the keynotes, Neil, Ross, and Matt, they were just wonderful guys. And there was a little funny story at the after party. I think they were, you know, sort of meant to leave, and you know, sort of heading towards the door. Cheryl thought, you know, she had everyone, you know, organized and heading to the door, but I think she got about sort of halfway, and she turned around to check that everyone was with her, and Ross had snuck off and went back to the bar and grabbed another beer, and as soon as Neil spotted him, he just bolted back. So but the look on Cheryl's face, she was like, oh, you know, I got to start again and round everyone up. So it was quite funny. It was just a little moment they didn't want to leave. So it was good.
I think there's some future superstars there. I think.
Yes,
I think
definitely.
there's big
Well,
things.
especially for that region.
Well, Neil and
Yeah.
Matt have been with the company for 8 years, so they're OGs, you know.
They weren't just some and they were just, and it was funny because it was like, you think you'd sit there and have a conversation about either Ripple or XRP. It's none of that stuff. It's just talking about life and having a good laugh. And I found they all had like, such an amazing sense of humor as well. There's I was gonna try to find a photo on my phone here. I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Sorry, I think I said Neil and Matt. It's Neil and Ross. Ross has been with the company for 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one. Yeah, here it is right
Yeah,
here.
and Bearable Bull, that was such a moving keynote. And one thing I was going to say when you were talking about that, Chip, is, you can put all this effort into putting these conferences together, but you don't kind of know what your keynotes, and their talk is going. Hey, that's cool.
Oh, there you go.
Look
The
at
gang.
Yeah, that's the picture I was looking for.
all the
That's
sexy
what we found
people.
it.
Look at that. There we go.
Yep.
Hey?
Good photo. Great photo.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
There we are right there.
Yeah.
There you go. That was a nice one.
The Crypto Eddie in there as
That's
well.
a great photo, Chip.
It was amazing. That was the first time we met Crypto Eddie in person. We come down
Right.
the elevator. Elevator opens, and there she is in the lobby.
Like an
It was like-
angel.
The elevator.
Well,
It was
you
so
want-
very cool.
Yeah, you want to talk
Very
about
cool.
you want to talk about Fanboy. You want to talk about I mean,
Oh my
gosh, I
God.
mean,
Yeah.
2017, 2018, and I mean that was like just an absolute thrill for us as well too.
was
Like,
amazing.
and it was weird because we know we'd see her at some point, but it was just like, it's like a shocker, big hugs, and man, really phenomenal. That was
So
another
that's the first time you've met Eddie.
first time, yeah, it was
First
first time
First
we
time.
met.
And
That was so awesome.
did you ever imagine that you would meet her in Australia, though?
It didn't. No, that was.
not in Australia.
I didn't think I'd meet her at all, being in Japan, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Meeting everybody in
you
Australia.
can do all the planning. You can do all the planning you want for a conference, but sometimes there's just those little bits of magic that happen, and some of those things that you highlighted there, Chip. With Bearable Bull's speech, and one of the things that stood in my mind from that was, there was a phrase, I think he said something to the similar to your procrastination is hurting others. So basically, get on with things and get it going. And that was, that's the time to make some changes. Yep, I've got to move forward here. But you can do all your planning you want, but there's just those magical parts, and that's
The magic came with everyone's keynote.
It came, and for that, we're forever thankful. So it made an impact.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I'll tell you another.
about South Korea too. I mean, the adoption level of XRP
unbelievable.
and digital asset in general in South Korea, and having the representation from South Korea, the focus on the development in the community is so critical. And that's why we are looking. Chip and I are talking about Consensus, because Consensus, as one of the largest platforms for blockchain, brings together investors, builders, developers, right? And if this community is going to grow and move into serious technology for mainstream, this is the direction. We can be passionate, we can have meetups, we can be fanboys, we can do all that stuff, but those are the niceties, right? We can speculate on investment, but development, it's all about building for the future, building on the platform, utilizing the technology. How do you get VC capital? How do you bring all these partners and players together? And the platform, you look at like a Consensus and you look at a Wave of Innovation, it's the platform that brings the people together. And the track that you guys are on, that the first iteration of Wave of Innovation puts it on a level that none others have really achieved yet, and puts it on par with a Consensus.
Yeah.
Well, the people by the people.
Yeah, we were looking to give those developers a voice. That was one of the things that was important to me. To give them a voice, to give them a spotlight, to start the connection process between them, the community, businesses, VCs, however it pans out. Here's your opportunity. Here's your platform. Come in. Tell us about your project.
That's right.
get people
Yeah.
excited, get
Some
people
interest-
involved, get people using. There's your utility.
So another interesting story. So somebody
And
had
vice
seen me-
versa too. Telling
Sorry.
the public what's being built, telling the public,
Yeah.
like showing businesses also what's being built and
Showcase.
what is coming and how they can
Yeah.
perfect logistics and data and payment systems, So not just giving them that voice and giving them that mic, it's also showing the other side, this is what's coming, this is the wave that's coming, the innovation that's going to be rolled out. So
Yeah, and I was gonna say so two little funny little takeaways. Somebody had seen me record Aaron, founder of Futureverse. I don't know how they saw me in the front row, but they saw me record it, and so he reached out to me. He's like, "Chip, I know you have the recording. I need the recording." I'm like, "Listen, bro, when I get back, I'll make sure I'll put it in Dropbox for you." Who's relentless, and if he's watching right now, it's like he kept pinging me every other day. "Chip, I need it," and I was doing so. I had some additional travel when I got back. I had a lot of moving pieces going on, and I'm like, "Thanks for your patience." When I finally dropped it on him, he was like, "This is awesome." He loved it. He was so happy about it. He's like, "Man, thank you for dropping that." It's so great to rewatch it again, and this is why I think that having everything is so green and like all relevant. That's why like making this available and then doing a promo around it. People can watch the entire thing, making it because I think that's going to be great. Another weird story. So there's a buddy of mine from the XRP community, C-Dubs Tech, and he says to me, this is such a weird, random story. He says, "Chip, I'm super psyched. I'm going to be watching the live stream." He said, "Did you meet, American football?" He goes, "Did you meet a Bills fan there? Did you bring your Bills gear with you? Did you bring your Bills hat? Are you wearing that there, right? Are you wearing it around? Did you meet an Aussie Bills fan?" He hits me because this is like he's ready to watch it, right? And I'm back. I'm like, "No, not yet." 5 minutes later, I run into a guy. We have a conversation. Football comes up, and he says, "I'm the biggest Buffalo Bills fan," and I'm like, "What?" And I want so I'm saying to myself, like looking around, like, "What? How is this possible?" Right? So this gentleman right there,
Magic.
and again, this is the kind of stuff that happens there. And I said, "Well, how is that possible?" And he says, "Oh, his grandfather was from Buffalo, and then the family just adopted this team, and he was showing me pictures of his family watching Bills games with all the gear, right? Jerseys, hats." And I was thinking to myself, the whole time I had this big smile on my face. So I'm thinking, this is so bizarre. 5 minutes later, I run into a dude. Like, it's first of all, if you're gonna be a fan of a sports team, it's gonna be someone like Miami, it's gonna be San Francisco, it's gonna be New York. It's not gonna be the Bills, right? Of course. So like I get done talking to him, I go, "We gotta get a picture together." He goes, "Of course." Then I hit my buddy on C-Dubs Tech. I'm like, "You're not gonna believe this, bro. I just met the biggest Bills fan in the Gold Coast, and he's in Australia." Maybe
that's funny.
We organized that. Like, he was planned. Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, "Go over here. All right, cue the Bills guy. Cue the Bills guy. Walk over to
That kind of stuff only happens with your phone. When you talk about something, it comes up on your phone. It's not like you're supposed to talk about something and you meet it in person.
Like not in real life, exactly. Yeah.
Well, my wife and I had
we went and saw a football game over on the Jersey side there when we were in New York. So we went and watched the Giants
Giants,
Giants v Seahawks, and yeah, it was a terrible game for the Giants, but intercepts from the Seahawks and all that sort of stuff.
Giants.
And so I mean, I just saw in that clip that you just played there, the promo clip. I saw Rob M in there, and obviously Tommy was out here as well, and he gave us some Seahawks socks, which was incredible.
Yes.
I mean,
he gave us some really cool
That's
socks.
right.
with my Giants,
really nice socks.
my Giants hat. So my whole body will be in like conflict. But anyway, whatever.
In conflict. But it was
Well, that was
All right.
yeah. We actually invited.
I had to have a hot dog and a beer, and we ended up. And I wanted the full experience, so I actually went there and got didn't organise the tickets. Just rocked up and just went straight to a scalper and said,
wow.
"Yep." I mean,
that's the real
Oh,
story.
that's
one of our sponsors, but I wanted to be scalped, whatever, But I knew the prices, and the prices were good, so that was cool. And he gave us right on the 50-meter line, like up in the nosebleeds. That doesn't matter.
50-yard line, by the way.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the 50.
No good meters here. We're still on the
There's no meters over here. Yeah.
There's no meters over here, unfortunately.
One hot dog. I got my Pepsi, and I got to say, you guys know how to put on a football show. I mean, there would have been 100,000.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
That was incredible.
Well,
And
Jeff was sending me
this
video from the hockey games. Hockey games are like that tier 2. Everything's over the top, man.
The Florida Panthers.
Our Panthers are in the playoffs.
They're in round 2 of the playoffs. So last week I went to 2 of the games, and the excitement.
Jeff, you have that video?
It's great.
Pull that video up. It's phenomenal.
Let's see if I can pull it up.
One disappointment was I didn't get to see a baseball game, so I'm gonna have to come across and see a baseball game.
Yeah, it wasn't baseball.
You gotta come over here, see some baseball, see some hockey.
It just ended.
The New York didn't make the playoffs.
Yankees and the Mets were not in the playoffs. Well, also 2 year tickets would have been about $5,000. So if you were to go, if the playoff games, the tickets are quite expensive. But
well, I mean, we went up and did the tour there.
Yeah, that's wow.
Wow. You can see the lights and the ice and the
how
many of those
fans were going crazy.
People that in there.
Is that the Jersey Stadium?
No, that's Florida. That's
Florida.
Oh, Florida Stadium. Yeah.
That's the Florida Panthers are a hockey team, NHL, National Hockey League team.
And they crushed the Boston Bruins yesterday 6-2.
How many people are there?
Was it hold 40,000, 30,000?
By the way, that's the same place we saw Trump rally, didn't we, Jeff? Jeff and I went to one. We weren't sitting together. He was somewhere else, and we were like, waving to each other or whatever. But speaking of that, I wanted to put a little video up here because I think this is going to be interesting. This is an interesting thing that no one's really talking about here. Do I have it? Yeah.
19,250.
How many articles have you guys got pulled up and saved that we haven't got to yet?
Well, this is
lots of them. We had lots of them.
Every show is like that. We talk about stuff we never.
What are we talking about?
Before we put that
nothing. I'm like, okay, this is going to be off the cuff.
So we're going to talk about.
Fun to talk about.
The U.S. is going to be voting on this crypto legislation.
All right, hang on. I got to jump.
That's right.
Financial innovation and tech for the 21st century. We've talked about it before. Maybe they're going to vote on it before the end of May. Even if it goes through the House, it still has to go to Senate. So it potentially dies in the Senate. We don't know where it's going. But those are some of the things that are going on right now in the U.S. market. Obviously, there's been a lot of controversy and turmoil. Chip's got a good video that he's going to put up. I firmly believe it's all about what's going to happen post January 2025. I don't see any traction taking place between now and then.
I think because it's topical in the news is why they're bringing it up. But Jeff, I'm to your point. I don't think so either. It's political theater. What were you saying, Matt?
I see that SAB or whatever it is, 121 bill that will rule the SEC was pushing there on the banks not being able to custody crypto. I see that got over. Yeah. I see that got over the line in the what's the lower house called?
The House. It's called the House of Representatives, and it goes to the Senate. Biden already said he's vetoing it, so it's a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to go up to the Senate, and even if it somehow got through that, it's just going to get tapped. Yeah. So they're going to be under the same rules moving forward.
Listen, this is one of the things that I talk about all the time. You never interrupt your enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves. You just go like,
yeah, absolutely.
You let them do it, and you say like, you guys own it. You guys
just wrote a piece. I mean, as XRP communities, we're pretty much all over the SEC stuff because, obviously, being part of John Deaton's 76,000 people and that, he helped out in the community and all that sort of stuff. We're all over we're on the nuances of all the stuff that happened with the SEC and for the last couple of years. But there's a lot of people out there that have no idea. And the people that I now work for who are crypto related, at Ainsley Crypto, giving a plug there. They didn't know any of that sort of stuff that was going on that the XRP community and have been subject to. So I wrote a piece on that on their news article, and yeah, the SECs, they're out of control. I see them as a rogue entity, as this administration's attack dog. That's how I see them. I mean, I'm just on the other side of the world. Who am I?
It's everything, man. It's the Department of Justice. It's the entire. it's not isolated. You're like, well, that's just isolated. No, it's across the board. I'm everywhere, right? So,
but Gensel's been doing this. Gensel's been doing this for over a decade, and I don't know if people really have made the connection yet. And stop me if you have. But Gensel was in the CFTC, and he did this to the silver market. So he was the head of the SEC back in 2014 when there was so much information out there from Andrew Maguire in the silver market, and it got what's his name, Bart Shilton, who sadly passed away a week after getting interviewed by Chris Marcus from Arcadia Economics, confirmed everything that was being done under the JP Morgan and that sort of stuff. I'm sorry, getting a little political here, but but it was squashed. The whole thing was squashed and it was called a political decision, which would have come from the top, which would have been Gensler. And sure enough, the DOJ picked it up a couple of years later, and that was that $920 million fine that JP Morgan got. So he's not been our friend for a very long time. And
he's bad news all the way around. But listen, getting political here is like, that's what we do, geopolitics. Let me throw.
Are we on Rumble? Are we on Rumble or are we on YouTube?
I think we're on everything.
We're on X and YouTube today.
One of the
and
things,
Twitch.
Speaking of politics, I want to put this up.
Always.
Let's watch this video.
Against it, the Biden.
Shut up, man.
Biden doesn't even know what it is. If you ask Biden, sir, are you for or against crypto? What's that? What the? Get me off the stage. You say, get me off the stage. No, he has no idea. But look, Gensler is very much against it. The Democrats are very much against it. And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it. Probably a lot of the people in this group. And I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it. And if you like crypto in any form, and it comes in a lot of different forms, if you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then you heard it here first. Not wrong, but that's it's so succinct. Chip and I have been talking about this relentlessly, right? We bring this up. People in the community that don't understand the politics of it or the geopolitics, keep talking about, the legislation. Maybe there's a chance that it's going to get through, but it always goes up to the theme of the administration. Right now, we have a resident in the White House that is extremely anti-American, and we've seen a very communist trend in this country, and that's going to be antagonistic to the crypto space, to freedom, to decentralization. We have to fully embrace what DeFi means. And DeFi, obviously it became very political. It should be bipartisan in nature, which is what they talk about even with that innovation of tech. Should be bipartisan. It really isn't.
No,
that's why 2025 is the needle.
And what's interesting is Apex Crypto, who's a big, an OG of the show here, he put out a report. Jeff, it's in the Keep. If you can, right underneath that where you saw that video, you'll have to pull this up because I'm having some tech issues today. But pull that up there. But he put together an amazing report that shows that 40% of U.S. citizens now own crypto. If you don't think that 40% of people that own crypto know what's going on with regulation or non-regulation in the U.S., this is one of the things these so-called political pundits are missing. 40% of Americans own crypto. Don't think that this is not going to be an election thing. So that's why I was saying, Trump pretty much won it right there with that, because Biden's not going to sour. You've got Elizabeth Warren, who John Deaton is going to. People are betting against John Deaton. Never bet against a winner, a proven winner. Who this guy is unstoppable, right? And that's one of the things too. Jeff and I have been exposing some guy that got in the race.
Ian Kane, whatever his name is.
Ian Kane is a lifelong Democrat mole, and Jeff and I are going to continue to expose him here on the show. There'll be some more probably tomorrow night as well. But we'll continue to do that. The guy's only ever donated and supported Democrats. He's got pictures with Joe Biden. He's like, I was in the motorcade with President Joe Biden, like all this kind of like fanboy stuff. And I'm like, wait, so tell us how does it scream Republican to you? It
just screams they're worried. Elizabeth Warren is worried.
They are very worried.
Screams to me that
there
she's
it is
worried.
right there. Yep. Definitely. So Apex Crypto put this.
And so you know what? So they should be. Go John Deaton. Go one Deaton.
Yeah.
So they should be.
So that's 40% of the population.
Yep.
Imagine.
Wow.
if it becomes a
the
decisive
number.
issue, right? So it's great to be able
That's
to publish
key.
that. So it ties right into the fact that, I mean, it's almost 93 million people. And I don't think, it's always so funny because like when we think about the US here, right? So there were a couple counties in Wisconsin on the 2020 election cycle that had 115% participation. Now in the US traditionally, if you hit 60% participation in a county, which is a smaller region of a state, that would be amazing. It's massive. 115%, that means there are more ballots than people, but everyone's like, nah, that's just weird anomaly. I guess it doesn't mean anything, right? So a lot of the stuff, especially in Georgia too, that they said they just found out that 300,000 ballot images are missing. They double counted 3,000. I'm like, you're finding this out now? We knew this 3 years ago. So this is the bigger concern and worry. I don't think it's even related to the U.S. And you saw what happened in Brazil, right? So they busted the criminal out of jail, Lula, and they ended up, Bolsonaro, they basically railroaded. The guy was turning around Brazil, putting it on a solid footing. The Biden administration went down there, busted him out, positioned him. And interestingly enough, the one place where he won massively, he lost massively everywhere else in Brazil. So nothing to see there, folks. So if you don't think that the fix is in worldwide, it's in worldwide. And the next person they're going to target is going to be Malay in Argentina. And, I just hope that that El Salvador is able to sustain as well.
That was an incredible speech. I mean, it came out so perfectly that the El Salvador speech after, the US Bergstein or whatever the guy's name is, who didn't know how money was created in the US. Sorry, I'm going to say currency is created, whatever that guy's name is.
Oh my God. So embarrassing.
And then the European guy comes out after that, just as bad.
It was just,
and then
as
the El Salvador comes in and just gives them a lesson. It's like,
Big time, So Bukele, and Bukele, like what he's done, right? So if you think about this, in a couple short years, El Salvador went from being the bottom 3 most dangerous countries to live in to one of the top 3 most safest countries to live in. So what the elites don't want you to know, what the so-called professionals, the pundits, the people that know better than all of us, they talk down to us all the time. Like, that can't be achieved. It'll never happen. And then you watch people do it. In Trump, if you remember in 2016, one of the things that was very prominent was, Obama said, like, this is the new normal. The GDP will never grow. Get used to it. And then Trump's like, what does Trump have a magic wand? Well, no, he just has sensibilities and a business mindset to be able to put. It's about policy. I'm like, I don't care if you like the guy. You can hate the guy. You see how they treated Churchill. Churchill was the only one that stood up and out of all the European countries and said, we will fight to the death. And then the US came over, but this guy stood tall. They destroyed him. The liberal media destroyed him. If you saw the articles written about him, you would have thought he was like the Satan of worse than Hitler. This is how they treat their people. There's nothing different. People think this is all new. Go back and read the articles written about Churchill during what he was doing when he was standing up and then after, and how they treated him like an old discarded rotten suit. Okay. And they did not like the guy because the guy was brash, man. He was brash, but his policy, and that is the same thing about Trump. I don't care if you like the guy, but nobody gets punched in the face 24/7 nonstop. Biden's like, hey, so what's your favorite ice cream, sir? What? This is the kind of questions he gets versus like,
and then that's followed with this.
Oh, the sniffing is a little bit much. Somebody put the video out when Trump was at Formula One.
It's so creepy. That's so creepy. But I think shout out to speaking of El Salvador. I believe Jay Spendabits has a presence in El Salvador, or has been.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that would be awesome to get the speed and all that sort of stuff of Bitcoin and the cost of stuff down. But yeah, so
someone said this as well. This is a fair point, and a lot of people were making this point. I've had some interactions.
Oh, God, do we have to look at him?
Yeah, don't forget that he did. Right, that's true. That's true. But that is, geez, man, enough.
My eyes.
No, that is true.
This is one of their guys here.
Albanese. Oh my God. There we go.
Yeah.
But so the battle isn't in the US only. The battle is a global struggle. And the global struggle for freedom. Right. And this is the commonality. When the US loses focus on what matters and freedom, the rest of the world's following. So we have corruption on this side of the ocean. It filters into what you guys are seeing. And thank God for Elon Musk, because he's one of the few that has really put his money where his mouth is, especially through this whole thing with X. But you look at this, we're talking about now, this is new, what's going on with social media licensing and what the Australian government is going to try to do to overly censor what you guys are posting. It's already dangerous enough to where they label speech by hate speech. And then you have government officials that'll tell you what or what isn't. They'll tell you what you can or cannot post. And, one of the things that we learned being over in Australia is that there's a lot of great freedom loving people over there, and the government doesn't represent the majority, similar to what we have here.
I think people are waking up. People are waking up slowly but surely. People are waking up, and unfortunately, with the quality of our currencies for the last, I'll say since probably Nixon, but it's been probably before then, the quality of your currency is reflective of the quality of your community, of your social, of society, and our currencies have become worse and worse and worse, and unfortunately it leads to corruption, and it leads to society values and so forth diminishing. So I see crypto and value there outside of the system. I see silver, gold outside of the system. I think that's our pathway forward. I think that's our freedom, and obviously sharing information amongst each other, educating each other, because we're not getting education in schools. I mean, it was educated. It was. I think it was the Rockefellers back in the 1920s or something that
educated. Yeah. There's not a lot of that going on. Well, one of the big key takeaways for Jeff and I that we talked about was one of the things we got from meeting all the Aussies, and sometimes we just go into a shop and talk to people. I had random conversations with folks, and what I got was that, and this is kind of weird, you can fall into this trap with things that Jeff and I heard that were coming over there were completely wrong. And these people and everybody we met is like, don't believe the bullshit. Don't believe this stuff. And I saw freedom loving, crypto loving people, and I saw such an energy. And it's like, I posted about it. Like, the spirit of the Aussie people is just incredible. The spirit that runs through what's really happening versus, because we get filtered all the garbage too, and they set us straight on a lot of stuff, like, hey, by the way, you guys gave up your guns. Well, stop by and I'll show you what's going on. I mean, I'll show you this, that, right? Like, all these like myths and things that were happening. It's like, no, that's not true. Yeah, that happened in some cities, but it's so funny that everybody's prone to this. Like, even us, as much as we talk about stuff that's propagated through media, Jeff and I can even fall in that, because you don't have the alternate source, and some of the alternate sources we do follow are talking about the real thing. So that there was just such a beautiful, freedom-loving spirit that ran through it. And some people who didn't know us from the podcast would have like a secret. They would throw something out there. It was almost like a secret handshake, like, Chip, where do you stand on this? And I would say, I'm like, all right. They kind of like were just like, they wanted to see where you were, and then they were like the secret handshake. Are you standing this one? What about this thing? I won't throw the topics out, but they sort of asked. And then when Jeff and I answered, they're like, okay, you're one of us. We're one of you, right? So that was the beauty. That was another huge takeaway for us. That spirit, man, that freedom loving, we're going to fight to the death spirit. That's what I got. So.
Yeah. I mean,
I was going to say, we probably don't sort of have politics as a big topic of discussion. I think there's a saying here: you just don't talk about religion and politics, because I think we leave that when it's in the right context, but generally, sort of as a rule, everyday life, it's not a big topic of discussion here in Australia. I know it's, in my life anyway, I don't tend to sort of have a big political, yeah.
Jeff is split.
Puzzle.
Do you, Matt? Puzzle. Do you? I mean, it might be just me, but what's happening with Jeff?
I keep up on it because I just get so frustrated. The frustration has just led to me, But then, I don't watch a lot of mainstream media stuff anymore.
No, I don't either.
I turn it off. I mean, you know, the 6 o'clock news is just an absolute propaganda thing. And I just like, yeah, I couldn't be bothered. Fell asleep, missed the show. That's what I normally do. What time is it? It's about 11:30. Red and blue opposites. Yeah, exactly. Two
What's
wings.
happened with Jeff? He's
2 wings.
been,
I got-
he's
puzzled
AI.
right now. He's puzzled.
AI.
He's like,
What's-
I'm puzzled.
I'm puzzled.
Yeah, you got to move it like up that one up there, move that one across
As if
there.
you put it back together again.
Oh, look, it's Jeff.
Remember that little slide when they had that one little
Jeff,
tip and you
your
slide 'em off?
chin is on one side and you.
Yeah.
Man, and it's usually me that has the problems,
The
not
jet.
Jeff. But that's what we had going on earlier. It's like we were having a bunch of little of the stuff, you know.
Well, I couldn't get in the stream thing because apparently I have to do it through Google or something.
Well, I
Yeah,
had
they
the
didn't-
time wrong.
Yeah. You're off by
I thought it was
maybe a day.
tomorrow morning.
And then listen, we have to put the comment up by Alchemist because we do believe in free speech here. He's like, so you will anger the believers. Trump was calling for negative rates from the Fed in the last term, and a strong dollar is killing the economy. He will say whatever he thinks you want to say. Well, here's what I think he's really trying to say: get rid of the Fed. The central banks are the biggest enslavement to people around the world, and as soon as we get rid of those central banks, you will see a real, like, have a real sovereign currency. You can't have some third party that lends the government money that you have to pay interest on. This is like the most ludicrous idea. It's why the founders were against. It's why most people, human beings, are against. The fact that it's been around over 100 years here in the States, when the longest central bank lasted only 20 years. And do you think it's
You had 3 versions of 3 attempts at it before the Fed came, apparently, I believe.
Well, we did, and it's like, and it's interesting that the 3 most vocal, outspoken people just happened to be on the Titanic, and we fixed that, and then in the middle of the night, you know, geez, that boat sank. That's weird. How did that happen? I was like, it was.
I don't know if I'll go with you guys this time. I'll just get off, and I think that was one of the JPM guys or whatever. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it's there's and well, the thing about the other thing about that I'll say about that is, like, look, Trump's not a perfect guy, right? There's a lot of rhinos, Republican in name only. There were a lot of swamp creatures that were in his administration. Like, there's plenty of things that I can say negative. You know, Jay Clayton wasn't the guy for the job. But you know what? In retrospect, you can go back and retool it. But if you come back and say, look, we're going to be pro crypto and we're going to look different. And I just saw an article where he's working with some people, you know, that are prominent Bitcoin and talking about framing what it's going to look like, you know, for the administration. These are all very positive. So look, nobody's infallible. I mean, yeah, I like Trump, but he made a lot of mistakes. He even talked. He's documented a lot of mistakes, you know, especially the swamp creatures. So it's, you know, look, it's going to happen. But I think the central bank is destructive, man. You have to get rid of it. You have to, and this is why I think government here in the U.S., because our uniparty, you know, they pretend like, oh, they run to the microphone and I can't stand this guy in this party and I can't stand that. And meanwhile, look at how they vote. They all vote together. So it's one big happy family. They hang out together. They drink beers together. I mean, but they go on. It's almost like a TV show. Let's go on the TV show. We're going to play enemies in the TV show, but when the TV cameras are off, we're going to be buddies. We're going to hang out. We're going to do fun things together. So it's just it's drama. I don't know what happened to Jeff. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know what happened to him, but I think we have to end this because I have an appointment. I have to run. Who knows what happened to him?
So are we getting Are we?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You want to do the out today?
No.
I like no.
You want to do the guest out?
Chip, can you do the XRP Gold Coast for us? The intro.
I can play the video again, but did you like that? That was just like one of those things. I can go.
I was like in the red corner, weighing in.
There was a little bit of that. I didn't expect it to be there, but Jeff was like, "Oh, who's that guy that does that?" Michael, the guy who goes.
Yeah, you guys did a phenomenal job emceeing our event, and you know, we want to say we're so grateful and so thankful that, you know, you came over and assisted us with that, because it really did make a difference having you guys there. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, my God, awesome. It was a privilege to do it. I mean, it was just a phenomenal. Jeff and I, you know, we loved it. I mean, we felt like, you know, it was so much fun to participate in.
Yeah, I mean, I think I already know the answer to this, but we hope to have you back next year, and
Michael Buffer,
make magic
Michael
again.
Buffer. That's the guy, Michael Buffer.
Let's
get ready to rumble. Speaking of rumble, we're not on rumble today,
but down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Just bring
I
the
just
studio.
told her. Hey, it happens, man. I didn't even intend that. It's just one of those things that kind of came out. I was like, just like Jeff and I do the show. It's all on the fly.
Well, you just made it up over breakfast.
But we did come out to some good music, though. We did come out to some because I said, Jeff, we got to keep it true to country here, and we came out to some AC/DC twice, man.
That was perfect.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
That was
man.
so much fun. It was good. We had good AV guys over there.
Oh, the AV guys
they were top
phenomenal.
notch.
AV
were so
partners.
Great. They were
phenomenal.
Shout out to AV
I need to give a shout out on stage.
They were amazing.
Everything.
Make sure it's all written next time. They were
next.
They spent so much time like building that room. The backdrop. When you look at it, it's all individual square pieces that all have to be linked together, and that took nearly all day linking those pieces together. And that detail that went into the backdrop. I mean, even that was topic in our meeting is having that backdrop, and should we, shouldn't we? And I mean, in the end, I said we've got to have it because it just was so amazing with those beautiful coloured lights, which Daz put so much effort into the branding of our event and the fluoro and the neon lights, and it just came together beautifully. Sometimes that saying you couldn't sort of have it turn out, even if you tried. It was just one of those things that it just all fell into place and everything sort of married in and was perfect on the day. So the only thing that wasn't perfect was the weather. We would have loved some beautiful sunny weather for everyone, but we just couldn't.
The weather was perfect. The weather was perfect. We loved it.
I didn't notice any big thing about the weather. I loved it, man.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Well, we weren't outside, but it was still when we were. It would have been nice to have brought some sunny weather for everyone.
Rain. Overcast is perfect.
Well, living in Florida, it's sunny weather. It's like 98 degrees out right now, and it's like sticky and nasty. And man, it was actually nice for Jeff
70s and overcast is perfect.
We love that. So it's like for us, it was like beautiful. It was like, oh, this is awesome here. Plus, I mean, the backdrop of seeing the Gold Coast out of our window, like
oh my god,
it was so mind blowing. The like that, just
the landscape
and the event place was just it was just phenomenal. I mean, really.
RACV Royal Pines is a very unique property. I think it's like 140 acres or 100 acres or something like that, and it's a building that stands in the middle of it used to be two incredible golf courses. It's 1.5 now, but it's a championship golf course. But you have unobstructed views the whole way around. I mean, there are no high rises around you. As
this was just so amazing. Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, there we are.
That's that picture. If you can see in the background, but there you go. That's over there.
Oh, that was at
that Byron?
That was at the Irish pub.
That's up in Tambourine.
That was at the pub in.
That was Tambourine.
Tambourine.
Oh, Tambourine. Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, that's right. You guys went to Tambourine Mountain.
Thursday. That was the first day we got there.
So I was talking to a guy in my company who's our new director for Australia. He came in, and so I was in Montreal chatting with him, and he said, he says, if you were in the Gold Coast, the place you really got to go visit is Byron Bay. I'm like, oh, did we? I said, he says, oh, nice, you went there. He says, oh, I love the town. He's like, he's telling me, yeah, you got to go to Byron Bay. And I was like, we went to Byron Bay. He's like, oh yeah, I love that place. It's so phenomenal. So it was great.
And where do we go for the fish and chips?
That was Brunswick Heads, which is just north of Byron Bay.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That's beautiful too.
That was fun too, just sitting in that park by the water there, just like chilling out. That was the best. Like that right there, such memorable, imprinted in my. It's like it's there. Right. I have to think of something important I'm supposed to remember. I kicked it out because I've got that memory right. It's like,
and then there's the
right. Rob.
Rob
with a
flat spot in his head. Yeah.
He's got. I want 2 beers on his head next time.
Right. I saw that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Rob. That was for you, buddy.
Did you see a koala?
We saw no koalas.
We didn't see no koalas.
Did you see a kangaroo?
No
kangaroos.
No big rats.
Did you see a snake?
Big bugs. No snakes.
Nothing.
Did you see a spider?
We did see a snake. No,
we did see a spider. We did.
What did you see?
We saw a snake and a spider when we were
business meetings at Byron Bay.
Yeah, that's right. Look,
that was fantastic to run into Dirk because like we pull up and there's a white G-Wagon there. It's like an hour away from the event, and it's so funny because all of a sudden we hear Jeff go like, "That looks like Dirk's G-Wagon," and I'm like, "Jeff, come on, don't be so ridiculous." Holy shit, that's Dirk. It's like I was like, "Don't be so ridiculous."
We parked
like,
right next to him too. Like
we parked right next to him in Byron Bay, like right on the water there, and his battery had died. And they were just stranded, like waiting for someone to come. The next thing you know, Matt jumps in overdrive. He's giving him a jump with the jumper cables, and I'm like, it's a good thing we're here, man. You're gonna save you again. So that was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun. I was riding in the back of that with on the way
The G-Wagon.
in the G-Wagon, and there was one time where Dirk was driving because all of a sudden I don't remember who said it was. Somebody was in the car. They're like,
Ivan.
Ivan
Neil,
says,
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan goes like,
Ivan.
Hey Dirk, are you? He goes, oh yeah. He goes, I'm on the wrong side of the road. He was on the wrong side of the road. He goes,
because he did it twice.
He posted that. He posted one time that he did that. And I'm like, no, Dirk, I was with you when you did it. He goes, okay, maybe twice. I'm like, maybe twice. And this is what I told Jeff. I'm like, Jeff was like, oh no, I've driven all over the UK. I can do this. And I'm like, Jeff, that muscle memory is gonna just be. I'll be like talking and on the wrong side of the road and.
The only time it really happens is when you.
So you did see a stranded Dirk.
I see a stranded Dirk. That's right.
We
didn't see any roos. We didn't see that, but we did find a stranded Dirk.
It's a rare beast.
Some massive style prehistoric bugs.
It is very rare. You may see it again. You may not.
Probably won't. One time, it's like a rare event, right?
Well,
that was one of our favorite sort of things. But guys, I got to run. I have an appointment. I don't want to be late.
Stranded Dirk series.
Yeah, Stranded Dirk series.
Well, let's wrap this up, man. We're an hour 25 in.
But I got to run. Talk to you soon, guys.
It was awesome having you guys here.
Really see you, Chip.
Thank you. This was outstanding. And we'll look forward to doing this again in the near future.
For sure.
A lot of things.
Let's do it again.
With, wave of innovation.
I'll be a little bit more prepared and get the time right next time. I actually thought it was tomorrow morning, but I'm here.
That was perfect. That was good.
Thanks, Jeff.
So, appreciate having you guys here.
Matt.
Hang out while we leave. Appreciate everybody. We'll be back on again tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday. That's Sunday. So that is what we've got for you. And we are out. If I can find it. There it is.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.